Thank you, Mr. Williams, and good afternoon to all our listeners, all our viewers, both on internet and television. I want to start today by acknowledging the continuous support of generous associations and also citizens. The St. Kitts Flower Arrangement Association would like to express our heartfelt solidarity with you during these tense and troubling times. We appreciate the work done by the task force in keeping the people of our federation safe. To this end, we hereby donate the sum of $1,500 towards the Carding Home. Thank you for your leadership in the fight against the spread of COVID-19 in our federation. Sincerely, Sharon A. Drew, President, St. Kitts Flower Association. I also want to subsequently acknowledge Ms. France Ann Satney for donating some treats to the students who are in quarantine. By all accounts, the students have received their treats and they are extremely happy. Today, while on the topic of the students who would have returned from Jamaica who are in quarantine, they were tested today, and both in St. Kitts and in Nevis, and we should expect results shortly. The students are in very good spirit, and they are definitely excited to go home soon. However, I think they have enjoyed themselves in quarantine. Today, we had a very important meeting. The task force would have had a very important meeting with the faith-based church leaders on St. Kitts and on Nevis. Those on Nevis would have joined us virtually, thanks to the good works of John James, who would have connected us. A wonderful technician he is, yeah? And the discussion was very fruitful. I think we made a lot of headway in terms of ensuring that our clergies were involved in the discussions as to how do we reopen the churches to resume service. I was delighted by the contributions made, some of the concerns that were brought to our attention, and it has positioned us better to be able to develop the guidelines that would now be taken forward for us to be able to legislate the way the churches will function and operate during this pandemic. So I want to thank Pastor Canon P. Rollins and also Reverend Leroy Matthews from the Evangelical Association and the Christian Council for guiding this process. I also want to thank Pastor Connor, right there, our neighbor, Antioch Baptist Church, for allowing us to use such a marvelous facility. We were able to demonstrate using the facility as to how the new norm would look. This event was very well attended, in my opinion. I think I counted over 50 pastors we had present at the facility, and then we had a number of persons that would have joined us online, virtually, from St. Kitts, but in particularly, we had Nevis in the discussion, and that to us was very important. So we are doing an all-inclusive approach to this process, and we will continue to do so. Yesterday, I would have mentioned that the golf course is a private property, so to speak. However, I was further advised that it's a joint venture company with the Royal Golf Course and the Frigate Bay Development Corporation, in which this agreement would have begun back in 1997. So therefore, it's a joint venture company, and I attempted to find out some information as to the concern that was raised, but I will be receiving a further update so I can update you. The Compliance Task Force continues their work in ensuring that the businesses are compliant and adapting to the new norm. of social and physical distancing. Today, they would have visited a total of 44 business places or enterprises and would have engaged a total of 5 buses, passenger buses. While we are on the buses, I want to highlight something to the buses because we keep getting a lot of complaints about the buses. It's either the situation of overloading and also not wearing masks. Section 16, exemption for days of limited operation. Subsection 8 says, A, there is not more than 2 passengers per row of seating. B, all persons wear a mask at all times pursuant to Regulation 15. Windows remain open or partially open depending on the weather condition. D, all persons should practice good hand hygiene, proper sanitary behavior, and social distancing protocol. These are 4 simple steps that we are asking the bus drivers. They complained at first because at first we said 4 passengers. It was reviewed. We were making progress. The restriction was gradually reduced. We took it to 2 passengers per row, including the front row. To date, citizens are complaining that these buses are not compliant. Let me remind you that the penalty for contravening these regulations are a fine not exceeding $5,000 or imprisonment not exceeding 6 months or both, and to forfeiture of any goods or money in respect of which the offense has been committed. I'm asking all in these trying times and hard times, I can't lose $5,000. I don't know about you. I don't want to go to jail for 6 months, not in a pandemic time. Okay? So I'm asking all bus drivers, taxi operators, and everyone who deals with public transport to please comply. Help us with the fight against the COVID-19. You have a role to play. It's all of society's involvement and approach. With that said, we will welcome your questions, and if I forget anything of any of the acknowledgement, I will ask Leslie to read it for me. Thank you.